We invite you to spend the next 35 minutes in the company of Robin Hall and Jimmie Macgregor.
Hello again from Robin and myself here in London. We want to start this week with a whaling song about a ship called the Diamond, and the song describes her departure on a very hard and icy trip, with promises from the men that when they return to their women they'll have a ship full of whale oil and pockets full of money. But in fact, many of the whaler men never returned at all, and the bonny ship the Diamond was only one of many ships which were lost forever.
The Diamond is a whaler, lads, for Greenland she is bound, and the quayside it is garnished with bonny lassies round. Ralph Thompson gives the order to sail the ocean wide, where the sun it never sets, my lads, nor darkness dims the sky. And this cheer up, my lads, let your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship the Diamond goes a fishing for the whale. But don't you weep, my bonny lads, though you be left behind, for the rose will grow in Greenland's ice before we change our mind. And as we're leaving Peterhead, the lassies gather round, their plighties run about them and the sot tears running down. And this cheer up, my lads, let your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship the Diamond goes a fishing for a whale.
Here's a health to the Resolution, likewise the Eliza Swan. Here's a health to all the whaler lads in the Diamond ship of fame. We wear the jackets so the white, the jackets so the blue. When we return to Peterhead, we'll hae sweet hearts in you.
And this cheer up, my lad, let your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship the Diamond goes a fishing for the whale. The sun will shine both night and day when the Greenland lads come home. We're a ship that's full o' oil, my lads, and money to your name. We'll make the cradles for Rock and the blankets for tear, and they'll Calas and Peterhead sing rock-a-bye, my dear. And this cheer up, my lads, let your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship the Diamond goes a fishing for the whale. And this cheer up, my lads, let your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship the Diamond goes a fishing for the whale.
We'll make the cradles for to rock and the blankets for to tear. In some parts of Scotland, these lines could be taken as a declaration of love. See, we don't waste time beating about the bush up there. The same applies to this next song about a young couple who go out for a day's winching. That's the Scots word for courting, by the way. And there's nothing particularly unusual about this young couple except for one thing. And the young man in the story is wearing a kilt. And you probably know that it's only American tourists that go to the Edinburgh Festival that wear kilts in Scotland. Anyway, the young couple decide to go out for a day's winching, and they go up to the top of this little mountain known as the Benachie in Aberdeenshire, and the young man has a very unfortunate and untimely encounter with a bumblebee. And the song is called Up Among the Heather on the Hill of Benachie. Up among the heather on the hill,
Up among the heather on the hill of Benachie. Up among the heather on the hill of Benachie, there I had the bonny wee lassie sitting upon my knee. A bummy stung me well above the knee. We welcome to the moon of the hill of Benachie. Says I'm a bonny wee lassie, party going to spend the day up among the heather on the hill of Benachie, where all the lads and lassies there are making no see free. Amongst the blooming heather on the hill of Benachie. Up among the heather on the hill of Benachie, there I had the bonny wee lassie sitting upon my knee. A bummy stung me well above the knee. We both come to the moon of the hill of Benachie. Now all you bonny wee lassies, listen to my advice. Never let a soldier laddie kiss you more than twice. All the time he's kissing you is thinking up a plan to get a wee bit rattle at your old tin can. Up among the heather on the hill of Benachie, there I had the bonny wee lassie sitting upon my knee. A bumby stung me well above the knee. We welcome to the moon of the hill of Benachie. Up among the heather on the hill of Benachie, there I had a bonny wee lassie sitting upon my knee. When a bumby stung me well above the knee. Welcome to the moon of the hill of Benachie. Hill of Benachie.
A few weeks ago we heard some traditional fiddle tunes in the programme, and I'm going to try the same trick this week, but I'm going to use a mandolin, because I had a go at the fiddle once, but I very soon discovered that while the guitar sounds pleasant even in the hands of a beginner, The fiddle requires a rather long, agonizing and ear-bending apprenticeship before one even masters the rudiments. And when I noticed that my ears were beginning to crumple around the edges, I gave up, and the fiddle now hangs very decoratively on the wall, and I concentrate on the mandolin.
In that little medley, you heard three tunes. The first one was My Love She's But a Lassie Yet, and the second one from the northeast of Scotland was Fairy Wheel i Mormon Braes, and the last one was a wee Glasgow street song we know as Wha Saw the 42nd.
Thanks very much, Robin. I forgot to tell him that. You know, people who are acquainted with the entertainment world have for a long time been aware of the enormous and very valuable contribution made by West Indian artists in this country. And I suppose one could make a whole long list of them, but people like Cy Grant and Edric Connor, George Byrne, and in the jazz scene, superlative musicians like Sheikh Keane and Joe Harriott come immediately to mind. Well, we have a very good friend here in the studio today, a West Indian folk singer who's very well known in this country through radio, television, cabaret, clubs and concerts. And her name is Nadia Cattouse. Hello, Nadia. Very nice to have you here.
Hello, Jimmy and Robin.
Hello, Nadia.
Nadia, to English people, anybody who comes from vaguely that great big part of the world over there is a West Indian. But in fact, there's a whole kind of complex of islands and places. It's not all the West Indies, is it? Which island do you come from anyway?
I don't come from any of them.
Oh, God.
Well, you see, there are the islands, and then they've got these two mainland territories, British Guiana, and the one I come from in Central America is called British Honduras.
Honduras, yeah.
Many British Hondurans, of course, speak of West Indians, meaning the islanders quite apart from themselves.
Uh-huh.
But in England, we feel we're all West Indians.
Well, it's a bit too complicated for us, you know, so we just call you all West Indians.
Mm.
Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you, Nadia, was that, I mean, most of us know you as a folk singer. In fact, I'm sure almost everybody knows you as a folk singer, but you used to be an actress. Now, why? Why did you decide to stop acting and take up folk singing, or have you in fact stopped acting?
Oh, no, I haven't stopped, and I haven't decided to stop, and I won't ever decide that. It's a clear case of supply and demand, you see. I used to do a lot more acting once, and then I appeared in a radio ballad with Ewan McCall, and doing singing and acting.
Yes.
And ever since that, I've been asked to do a lot more singing. Of course, I still act when I get the chance. I hope the chances come thicker and faster.
Do you find sort of work pretty hard to get? You know, as an actor, I mean, I'm asking this because this is where I was before I took up folk singing. I found it very difficult to get.
Well, it's not hard to get, but there aren't any parts. You see, if I now were a West Indian man, I mean, look at those spate of African films, Kikuyu and Simba. I mean, I'd be shaving my head and be working like mad. You know, those drop-dead parts, you see.
If you were a West Indian man, we wouldn't have invited you on the program.
But parts for female actresses, coloured actresses, and let's face it, they like to sort of put you in a compartment, are very rare indeed, you see. So I'm very lucky sometimes that I still get a chance to do it once in a while.
But you don't only sing folk songs because you can't get enough work as an actress. I mean, you're obviously very quite knowledgeable about folk songs and.
Oh yes,
interested.
I've always been interested in folk songs. I always did it mainly for my own pleasure or for charity. But it's that I'm being offered more work in folk singing, and I like to do it. So marvelous, I say.
So in fact, the two things exist for you. They exist side by side, and,
Exactly.
and you're just as happy with one as the other.
Yes.
That's great. How long have you been in the country, Nadia? Long time.
Long.
Well, you don't have to tell us.
Well, let's say at least 15 years.
Yeah. But we've noticed that, unlike most West Indian singers, you don't concentrate on West Indian material. You sing a lot of other kinds of songs, don't you?
Well, this is true because since I've spent now nearly half of my life away from the West Indies, I've become very interested in songs, especially the new songs that are coming out of the folk world, because they reflect something of the way I think and things and people that I'm interested in. So really I sing West Indian songs and I sing British contemporary songs and American contemporary songs sometimes.
British contemporary songs, I mean, what do you mean by that? I mean,
well,
specific writers?
Yes, songs that are being written nowadays by British writers. And one I can think of in right away, because he writes a lot of the songs I sing, is Sidney Carter.
Yeah.
You know Sidney?
Well, we know
He
Sidney.
writes lovely songs.
We know him very well. Actually, I heard just recently, I heard you singing a song by Sidney called Port Mahon.
Oh, yes, my favourite.
Would you sing it now for us?
Yes, certainly.
Lovely.
Actually, I noticed you brought along another old friend of ours, Martin Carthy.
Oh, yes.
He's going
good
to play
old
the
Martin.
guitar for you.
Yes.
Splendid.
Good.
In Port Mahon, I went down to the harbor. A tall ship from England came up to the quay. I fell in love with a young English sailor, but he only laughed and he whispered to me, from Port Mahon I'll soon be gone. Laughing or weeping, the world will go on. To Port Mahon came the news of a battle, but never, oh never, a letter for me. And many a tall ship came back to the harbor, but never the one that I waited to see. The years passed by, and I married another, and many a woman would like to be me. But sometimes I lie in my bed and I listen to the sound of the wind and the sound of the sea, and remember that sailor who whispered to me, from Port Mahon I'll soon be gone, laughing or weeping, the world will go on.
Well, that was beautiful, Nadia. And the one thing I noticed, I've got a feeling that I've heard the tune somewhere before. Is the tune traditional?
Yes, I'm sure it is traditional, because Sidney has travelled very widely and he gathers a lot of tunes from places like Greek. I think this particular tune of Port Mahon he heard first in Madeira.
In Madeira?
And he has based this song on it. You know.
That's very interesting, because
Lovely
we do a thing each week about the way tunes do travel about the world. That's marvellous, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's remarkable. Nadia, the thing that occurs to me is that in this country, people, when they think of the West Indies and they think of the music, they always think of calypso. And I think even when they do think of calypso, they think of it in a kind of cabaret sort of style. You know, it's all smoothed out and tricked out, and people with fancy shirts and happy smiling faces and things. But in fact, you've got a terrific wide range of folk music in your country, have you not?
Oh, heavens, yes. The calypsos, you see, probably made an impact because people used to go more often, tourists, to the folk towns in Trinidad.
Uh-huh.
And they're very lively and very witty, and usually they are the equivalent of the British bawdy songs, you know.
Yeah.
The best ones you can't sing except in private. But I think generally people in this country are bored after they've heard calypsos a couple of times, and they miss the wealth of marvelous, marvelous songs that still exist. In Jamaica, for instance, you've got the Mento, which is not a calypso at all. And songs like Come Back, Liza, you know this, and the Banana Boat song, that isn't really a calypso. You've got spirituals, West Indian spirituals. We've got a lot of songs that travelled from this country, for instance. We've got, you know, this very famous Irish song, Tooraloo, what's it called again? Yes, well, this is the oldest British Honduras folk song, believe it or not.
It's one of the oldest British tunes as well.
Yes, well, we've got a lot like that. And then in my own country, in British Honduras, if people talk about songs there, they don't talk about what you would associate with folk songs. They talk about songs they call patriotic songs. And these sound like great Victorian melodies, you know, about British Honduras, my country so dear. And people cry when they sing these songs. It means a lot to them, far more than all the things that a British person would want to hear out there. They'd say, we don't want to hear that. That's British. Oh, I can go on endlessly talking about them because they're marvelous songs that you never hear unless you dig them up. You know.
A boiling pot of music. Nadia, on the very first program we did, we had Dorito Pepe, you know, the Latin American singers, and they were rash enough to allow us to join them in the chorus of La Bamba. Do you think you could sort out from your repertoire a song, a West Indian song, and let us join the chorus?
Oh, I can sort out several. I've heard, you know, I know you sing West Indian songs very well indeed. So, anyway, this one is very easy. It's a song called Run Joe.
What's the song about?
Well, it probably was a very true incident that these two characters were trying to do one over on the law, you know. They had a sort of front door, and behind they're doing this illegal practice of selling fortunes. Anyway, the chorus simply goes, Run Joe, man at the door, run Joe, and so on.
Are we saying Run Joe? Is that the idea?
Yes, you sing Run Joe. It's very easy, it's lively, and
sounds easy, yes.
We can hoot in it, you can laugh in it, you can cackle in it, anything.
Well, let's have a go then. Run Joe.
Mo and Joe had a candy store, telling fortunes behind the door. Cock rubbed Mo, and as Joe ran out, brother Mo, he began to shout, Run Joe, man at the door, run Joe, the man he won't let me go, run Joe, run as fast as you can, run Joe, policeman holding my hand, hide the crystal ball by the fence, so they won't find the evidence. When you get home, get into bed, call a doctor and tie your head. Run, Joe, man at the door, run, Joe, the man he won't let me go. Run, Joe, run as fast as you can. Run, Joe, policeman holding my hand. When the judge asked me how I plead, not guilty, sir, most decidedly. Can't you see, sir, at a single glance, I'm a victim of circumstance. Run, Joe, man at the door, run, Joe, the man he won't let me go. Run, Joe, run as fast as you can. Run, Joe, policeman holding my hand. If the judge believe what I say, I'll be home at the break of day. If he don't, I'll be looking cute behind the bars in this striped suit. Run, Joe, the man at the door, run, Joe, the man he won't let me go. Run, Joe, run as fast as you can. Run, Joe, policeman holding my hand. Run, Joe, run, Joe, run, Joe.
Well, thank you very much indeed for being with us today, Nadia. Now, one of the most anti-Scottish political moves ever made by England, I think, was the knighting of Sir Harry Lauder. Just think about it. He was a wee man, about 5 foot nothing or so, with a knobbly walking stick and knees to match. And he was so mean that every time he opened his sporran, out flew the moths, or at least that was the impression or the image he created on stage. So by giving him a knighthood, the entire population of Scotland were reduced to diminutive misers in the eyes of England. And, you know, the situation would be a lot better today if it wasn't for the fact that so many Scotsmen are, in fact, diminutive misers. That was a short lesson in how to be banned from your native country in one easy lesson. So without further ado, and just to show that I'm only joking, I'll play you one of my favourite records.
love a laddie, a bonny, bonny laddie. She's as pure as the lily in the dale, and she's as sweet as the heather, the bonny purple heather, Mary Mascot's bluebell.
Well, that's great as far as it goes. I think everybody in Scotland knows that song. And one of the great things that comes from the fact everyone knows it is that the kids, of course, knew it. And they took it, and as they do with so many songs, famous songs, they took it and turned it to their own ends, and they wrote to the same tune, and using the same chorus, a wee song about the Scottish Cooperative Society. And this is possibly libelous, but I think it was all written in good fun. And it's called Cooperative Cookies.
I like a sausage, a cooperative sausage, though you can't get near it for the smell. If you fry it wi' a ningen, you'll hear the ingin singing, Mary Mascot's bluebell. I like an egg, a cooperative egg, though you can't get near it for the smell. If you hit it wi' a hammer, you'll hear the hammer stammer, Mary Mascot's bluebell. I like a scone, a cooperative scone, though you can't get near it for the smell. If you spread it with some butter, you'll hear the butter mutter, Mary Mascot's bluebell. I like a cookie, a cooperative cookie, though you can't get near it for the smell. If you spread it with some syrup, you'll hear the syrup chirrup, Mary Mascot's bluebell.
Well, Peter's services on the drums there were absolutely invaluable. You know, like most big industrial cities, Glasgow is a pretty grimy and scruffy old place. And for anyone who's ever been to Glasgow, I suppose it's very difficult to think of it as a romantic place. But this isn't true. For example, one of the most beautiful love songs I know comes from Glasgow. It's a wee song called The Bleacher Lassie o' Kelvin Hall.
As I went out on a fine summer evening, walking down by the broomy low, it was there I met with a fair young maiden. She cherry cheeks and the skin like snow. Oh, lassie, lassie, will ye gang wi' me, and I'll clad ye up in fine satins broad. Oh, indeed, kind sir, it's a truth I will tell ye of a lad o' mine, and he's far awo. It's 7 lang years since I loved a sailor. It's 7 lang years since he's gane awo, and another 7 I will wait upon him, and I'll bleach my place here on Kelvin Hall. Oh, lassie, lassie, you hae been faithful, and you've thought on me when I'm far awo. Twa hearts will surely be
In case you're wondering what a bleacher lassie is, she was a girl who was employed by the laundries in the old days to lay the wet clothes out on the grass to bleach and dry in the sun. In those days, they actually had the odd summer. Steve's Latin American guitar solos have been proving very popular, and there have been so many letters asking him to play some more that we've got him to play today for you a wee tune called Anna.
Well, we want to sing you now what I would call the definitive Glasgow song. It sounds to me as though it has music hall origins, and it offers some very sound advice to young men contemplating marriage. Don't. And it's called Two Heads Are Better Than Yin, or, as they say in the funny accent that they use down in this part of the country, two heads are better than one.
Oh, well, they're mine in the days of lang syne when I was a laddie sae wee. If ever I'd gang today on it and rhyme, my mother would lecture to me.
She would say to me, Jimmy, keep awa fae the women, for you'll rue it the day you begin. And I never thought twice about taking advice, for two heads are better than yin.
But me being young, all I wanted was fun, and the first thing I looked for was a wife. And I found a wee tart with a wee warm heart to sew on my buttons for life. I'd call her my plum and my wee currant bun, and I'd tickle her under the chin. She'd say to me, Pat, well, hey, nae mair of that, for you'll rue it the day ye begin. Last Saturday night, when I got such a fright that I nearly jumped to my skin. Well, as sure as I'm here, my wee wife I declare, she gave me a present o' twins. Says I to her, Jean, tell me what do you mean? It's a terrible thing that you've done. And she cried out aloud, man, you ought to be proud, for two heads are better than yin.
Well, that's us once again almost at the end of Bright as a Button for another week. But just before we go, I'm going to ask Chris, one of the lads from Warwick, what he fancies singing this week. What do you fancy, Chris?
Well, what about that one that goes Jimmy Crack Corn?
Jimmy, oh, that's the blue tail fly, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about the Jimmy Crack
It's a long
Corn
time
bit, though,
since we've sung
Jimmy.
this.
Jimmy.
No, I think that some people don't sing Jimmy. Some people sing Gimme, in fact, and this has always seemed to me to be more likely because obviously it's a slave who's singing about his master's.
I would have thought
and when
so.
he says Gimme crack corn, he's obviously singing as long as he gets his daily bowl of this crack corn, he doesn't care what else happens. That seems
So you
more
can
reasonable.
go back to school and tell the music master that it's Gimme Crack
well,
Corn and not
anyway,
Jimmy Crack Corn.
let's on the way through the song, let's all try and sing Gimme because it seems to make more sense. We'll probably get about 50 million letters telling us that we're all wrong, but never mind.
When I was young and used to wait upon my master and serve his plate, and pass the bottle when he got dry,
and brush away the blue-tailed fly.
give me crack corn and I don't care. Give me crack corn and I don't care. Give me crack corn and I don't care. The master's gone away.
One day he rode around the farm, the flies so numerous they did swarm. One bit the pony on the thigh, the devil take the blue-tailed fly.
Give me crack corn and I don't care. Give me crack corn and I don't care. Give me crack corn and I don't care. The master's gone away.
The pony jumped, he tossed, he pitched. He threw my master in the ditch. The jury asked, why did he die? The verdict was the blue-tailed fly.
Give me crack corn and I don't care no more. Give me crack corn and I don't care no more. Give me crack corn and I don't care. The master's gone away.
They buried him under a simon tree. His epitaph was there to see. Beneath this stone I'm forced to lie, the victim of a blue-tailed fly.
Give me crack corn and I don't care no more. Give me crack corn and I don't care no more. Give me crack corn and I don't care. The master's gone away. Give me crack corn and I don't care no more. Give me crack corn and I don't care no more. Give me crack corn and I don't care. The master's gone away.
Well, it seems to me, Robin, that a few Jimmies crept in after all, didn't they? But never mind.
Well, I don't think it matters one way or the other, whether it's Jimmy or Gimme. I thought that the boys sang it extremely well. Thank you very much, lads. And that's it until next Tuesday from Bill, Pete, Steve, Jimmy and me. And many thanks to Nadia Cattouse and Martin Carthy for brightening up the button this week. Now, for those of you who have just switched on to Listen with Mother, are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll finish.
Robin Hall and Jimmie Macgregor presented Bright as a Button. The program was produced by John Dyas.